Good day guys, Bing here. Today let's model these windows on the roof. Okay, so let's start. First, create a generic model, face based, and create some reference plans RP and dimension equal dimension equal dimension. So this will be the width. So create a width parameter and another one here. This one will be the height. So let's create a height parameter. Okay, so now there are two panels in this window, and also looks like the size are different. So let's create another reference plane here and add a dimension. So I'll come back later to create a parameter for this, but for now I'll just leave it. So now go to front view. Because these panels are not placed on the face of this roof, so there will be a set down. So go back to Revit, go to elevation. So for example, front, create a reference plane. Okay, so dimension from this reference plane to this reference plane. So tab, okay, and then create a, let's call it depth D. Okay, so now if I you can also rename this reference plane, so it will be easier to pick this reference plane. So go back to floor plan. So now we can create the window frame. So go create, we're going to use a sweep. Okay, so before we pick the path, we set work plan, and under this list, so we can find this reference plane D, and OK. So now go to sketch path, okay, and use this rectangle. And so I'm going to draw the first one from this point to this point, and then lock all these sketch. So this will be the path, and finish, and click edit profile. So this time go to either left or right. So I'll use left, and now I'm going to roughly draw a shape of the frame. Okay, so let's, for example, 30 by 50. Yeah, I'm not sure how what the exact size need to be, but just a rough size. And also, if you want to, you can create add dimension and create a parameter. But for this one, for this exercise, I'll just leave it as 50 by 30. Okay, so finish and finish. So now you will see this is one of the window frame. So very simple. Okay, very simple one. So because they are inside of this base, so maybe let's H the base so you can see it. Okay, so this is one of them, and then we can create another one. So again, sweep, and let's check the work plan, still D, which is good. And then we can create a sketch path. Once again, to this rectangle from this point to here. Lock, and OK, finish, and then edit profile. Once again, go to left elevation. So, and then draw a shape. So roughly, yep. And OK, finish. So now if I go to 3D view, you will see there are two window frame. And if you change so for example, height, all good, width, and the depth, yep, all good. So now you can, I'll just quickly place a some glass. Okay, so actually this is not recommend. I usually I won't recommend this because I'm going to pick the edge of this geometry. Usually I will always use a reference plane, but in this for this exercise, I'll just quickly draw them. So, try not to do this because quite often the family will break at some stage. But I think it should be okay for this because this is a very simple model. But once your model become very complicated, try not to do this. Okay, so finish this. So okay, so I'm going to just use this. So -20, maybe -30, and then roughly, yeah, centered to the frame. And then let's just type in glass. Change it to shade SD, and then if you want to, you can create a parameter for the material. But I think that's it. Okay. And then the next step is so this is just the window. Okay, so the frame, the glass, and then what we need to do is we need to create this void. Okay, so for this void, we're going to add a few, so 1, 2, maybe 3 reference planes to define the size of the void. Okay, so one will be here, another one roughly here, and another one here. So I'm going to dimension them. So one, this one, and this one. And now we're going to create a parameter for all this one, and also this one as well. So this is the size of the lower window. Okay, so to make it easier for us to control the window, I'm going to rename this dimension. So I'm going to, name this parameter h1, and I'm going to use instance. Okay, so how should I just, maybe I'll make this one type. Okay, so let's make it type Windows lower type, and then I'll name this one maybe h2 instance, maybe this one h3, or it doesn't really matter type of instance depending on so if all of your windows are exactly the same, so you can just use type. But if your windows will be or with different size, or you don't want to create a different type for different size, you can change them to instance. So, and also you can easily see here. So for example, this one is type. So if I want to change it to an instance parameter, so you can just check this one. And you can also see if you select this, it will tell you either it's a instance parameter, or so for example it's not checked, which means this is a type parameter. So this is type parameter, and this one is an instance parameter. Okay, so you don't need to go select it. You don't need to go, you don't need to go to family types. Not this one. Family types to edit these parameter. You can just do it here. Okay, so now the void. Okay, so the void. So I'm going to, so of course you have a lot of ways to cut the void. So usually for a window or for a face space, you would just do a extrusion. But for this one, because the shape of this void, we can actually create an extrusion from the side instead of perpendicular to the face. So we can create something like this, go down and then cut through the wall, or sorry, the face, and go back. Okay, so let's do it. So go to left. So what I'm going to do is, so the void, so we're going to create this extrusion. So let's do it, create. And also another tip for you. So a lot of times, if you create a void straight away, it will automatically cut those solid when it's created, and this will you will have a lot of issue because a lot of time you cut something you don't want to cut. For example, you just wanted to cut the void, or sorry, cut the base, but the void will cut the frame, will cut the glass, and sometimes it's very hard to uncut. Okay, so this tip is, so when you try to create a void, create a solid first. Okay, create a solid. So let's do it. So extrusion. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll uncheck this chain. So this is another tip. So if you uncheck a chain, and once you create a line, so for example, if I draw a line from here to here, and you will have the option to lock this. If you have this chain checked, once you finish this one and move your cursor, these you will not have the chance to lock them. Okay, so let's lock them and then continue to here, and then another one here. Oops, over constrained, so that's fine, just cancel it. And then go from here. So I'm just going to roughly, that should be deep enough. And that's another chance to lock it. And drag this down to here. Nothing, that's okay. So go back to here. Another one here. And go this one to here, I think. To here. And another one here. And go back to here, another one here. Okay, so just need to double check. So always double check. So VV, if you type VV, go to annotation categories, check this automatic sketch dimensions and click OK. So you will see all these blue color dimensions. So sometimes it doesn't matter, but just to make sure, I personally like to get rid of all of them. So I will use align to align all these to get rid of all these zero. So this one looks like this here. So I'll just use this reference planes and lock it. And don't worry about this one because this should be deep enough. So if you want to make sure, you can just add a dimension and then that's it. So finish, and let's go to 3D view. So now you will see this is the shape, and then you can go to floor plan and you can drag this to this reference plane, lock, drag this to this reference plane and then lock. Yeah. So now you can change this solid to a void, and you will see it will not automatically cut anything. Okay, and then you can manually cut this base and void, and then that's it. So now we can load this into, so let's just create a project and let's model a roof like this one. So the easiest way to do it is let's just model a roof from ground floor. Okay, so and then you can create a roof, and maybe we can change the degree to 75. Finish. Go to 3D view, and you can use the cut off level. So for example, I'll stop it at level 1, which is actually here. Okay, so it will go up depending on the thickness of the. Let's just change it to yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we can place this window. So let's load this into here, so you will see you can place it on face. Okay, so I'll place it here, and then we can, so let me change it to shade SD, and then select this window, so we can, it looks like the depth, the offset, the set down of this window is too much, because this roof is only 125. Maybe we can just make it thicker. So maybe make it 200. I'll just duplicate a new one and make it 200. And then I'll just maybe make this window, instead of 200 deep, make it 150, something like that. Okay. So now we can change. Let's have a play of these dimensions. So for example, height, I'll make it 1 point high, meter high. So window lower, so it's this one, maybe make it 600, so 6 by 6. I think that's it. And then all these H1, which is the offset of this, H2 here, H3 here. So you can just have a play with. So for example, I'll change this to 450. And yeah, so same you can do. And yeah, it looks, you will see these actual line there, but if you unselect it, you won't see those. These are the, I believe these are the size of the base in the family. So if you don't like them, you can go edit family and make this base bigger, and then load this back, override, and you won't see it anymore. Okay, so now this one we can change. So for example, for 50 here, and another maybe 600, something like that. So if you want to roughly make it straight and look like vertical, you can just manually increase that height. I think that's quite good, I think. Okay, so yeah, maybe need to make it wider, but I think that's it. So and then you can just copy them. If 1.2, 1.2, of course you can just type in something like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. If you have any question, please let me know. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye. Sorry, I just noticed that I forgot one step, which is quite important. So because these are windows, and we created them from a generic model, so you will see it's still a generic model. So what we should do is go to family, change the category to Windows. So if they are Windows, just change the category to Windows. Do not use generic model. And click OK. And also another thing which would be good is change the subcategory. So for example, these two sweeps are frame. So you should change the subcategory to frame, and the glass, change the subcategory to glass. Okay, so this way, when you load this into your project, the line weight will be correct. Okay, so now let's load this into the project, and that's it. Okay, so thank you. That's all. Thank you. Bye.